if I fail to pay 3 consecutive EMIs, okay, for or 3 months ka payment, my loan account gets marked as NPA.
Correct.
Non-performing asset.
Correct.
Okay, that's a huge red flag for a bank. So this is where the collection agencies and everything comes into picture. You will be literally bombarded, digitally, physically. People coming to your house asking for money and all that.
Very quickly, just what exactly is the CIBIL report, and what does the term write-off really mean in the context of the CIBIL report?
So CIBIL report is used to evaluate one's creditworthiness or credit behavior. Let's assume that you are a bank. Nikhil, let's assume that you are a bank.
Okay.
You have to lend money.
Right.
Let's assume I am one of your customers. I come to you and ask for 10 lakh rupees.
Correct.
Will you simply give 10 lakh rupees to me?
Of course not.
Of course not, isn't it?
Right.
So you have to have an evaluation criteria.
Correct.
Wherein you have to make sure or avoid the risk of me defaulting.
Correct.
Or me running away with money.
Correct.
Right? So you'll put in checks and balances in place.
Right.
To evaluate the customer or me to ensure that I pay back with interest.
Correct.
Over a period or a agreed period.
Right.
No? So this credit report is one of their evaluation method.
Perfect.
Via credit report, they evaluate one's credit behavior.
Correct.
Right? So I think this is the fundamental or basic understanding which most people will have or most people should have.
Right.
Wherein the bank is trying to evaluate a customer's credit behavior.
Guys, if you don't understand basics of CIBIL report, you're not sure what it is, we actually have a detailed video. I'll link it right here. You can go check it out. Nikhil has explained it in depth of everything it contains. So please go through that video. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in this credit report, you asked what is a write-off flag.
Yes.
There are multiple negative flags, and one of that is written off.
So you said multiple negative flags.
Negative flags.
So write-off is a negative flag.
Written off is a negative flag.
Okay.
So please mark this. Written off is a negative flag. Okay. What happens in a written off scenario is, let's assume I have taken a loan of 10 lakh rupees.
Okay.
From a bank.
Okay.
And agreed to pay an EMI for over a period of 5 years.
Okay.
Now my EMI starts, and 5th of every month EMI becomes due. Okay. Now if I am paying well or paying on time, all is well. There's no trouble. Okay. Everything is going well. It is getting reported to credit report also that this guy is paying on time. Okay. Let's assume I have some sort of situation wherein I'm facing financial crisis. Okay. Crisis situation. I don't have money to service EMIs. Okay. Now what happens? I start delaying my payment or my EMI starts bouncing. Okay. If I fail to pay 3 consecutive EMIs, for or 3 months ka payment, my loan account gets marked as NPA.
Correct.
Non-performing asset.
Correct.
Okay. That's a huge red flag for a bank.
Correct.
Okay. Everything. Exactly. It's a huge red flag for a bank. Okay. So this is where the collection agencies and everything comes into picture. You will be literally bombarded, digitally, physically. People coming to your house asking for money and all that, so that they can arrest the loan account from falling into NPA.
Correct.
So they'll do everything possible.
Correct.
To arrest the loan account. If that didn't happen, let's assume it crossed. Yeah, sub try kar diya, it crossed.
It crossed what?
It crossed 3 months. An account gets marked as NPA.
Correct.
NPA ho gaya. Fir bhi bank manager is behind me asking me to regularize now.
He's like pay something.
Pay.
Pay the interest.
Not pay the interest. Rolling back is coming out of NPA.
Correct.
See, the manager will also be evaluated for his performance.
Correct.
Okay. Let's assume the manager has given 100 loans. If 50 of them turn NPA, imagine his...
They'll be at his neck.
They'll bite... their higher ups will bite his neck.
Correct.
As to boss, whom you have given loans? Out of 100%, your 50% is NPA. Boss, baat diya hai kya loan? So this is what happens. He is also evaluated. His
Correct.
performance is also evaluated.
Correct.
So he has to be behind me, to make sure or to push me to, regularize the account. Regularization is basically pulling the account out of NPA.
Correct.
Or maybe, paying 3 EMIs. Now assume I don't have money. But I'll say I'll just stand freezed. Or I'll just surrender myself stating that, boss,
Paisa nahi hai.
I'm absolutely in crisis. I don't have money.
Okay.
Now, if three further months passes by, which is 6 months or 180 days, now there is a compliance from RBI to write off that account.
Oh.
They have to write it off.
Okay.
Yeah, from their books.
Okay. So they have to tell ki boss ye paisa nahi aayega.
Nahi aayega. Write it off.
Okay.
That doesn't mean collection action will stop.
Oh, okay.
Collection action will
still continue.
Go on. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That thing cannot be counted under the bank's loan book.
Exactly. That's not an asset for them.
It's no longer an asset.
This is that particular loan account is no longer an asset and it is not generating any income.
Okay.
Right? So if it is not generating any income, they have to write it off and also provision that particular loan account from their profit. That means the bank
has to be cut from
the bank themselves will pay that loan account. You get my point. Pay that loan.
But collection action will not stop.
Collection action will not stop.
Okay. But it's a compliance from RBI, I'm understanding, just to make sure banks are more disciplined is what I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Next level. If there is no compliance, imagine they'll be least bothered.
They'll never write off a loan.
Yeah. Their books will start bloating.
Correct.
Everything gets treated as asset, no? They'll show that this 10 lakh rupees loan and this is an asset. Money will happen in future. Our loan book size is some 10 lakh crores.
Yeah.
Out of which, imagine 1% is NPA, which is not reflecting.
Yeah.
Right, no? So you are in an illusion.
Especially if it's a publicly traded bank.
Yes.
So this is...
People can get deceived
100%.
in no time. So this is where compliance comes into picture. Boss, if you are not able to collect, write it off. Provision it from your profit.
Correct.
You put that 10 lakhs back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a bank, a write-off is essentially a loan which is no longer generating income.
Right.
The loan amount has to be provisioned from the profit. Okay.
Right. That doesn't mean collection action will not stop. Please, I think I want each one of our listeners to note this fact that once an account gets written off, collection action will not stop. This is not a loan waiver.
Correct.
This action happens to adjust the bank's book, to clean up the bank's book.
Correct.
This is not from a consumer perspective. This is from a bank's perspective.
It's a compliance for the bank.
Compliance for the bank.
Right.
So a lot of people think that my account is written off. That means, are they waiving off my loan? This is not a waiver scheme.
Okay, got it. It's definitely not a waiver scheme.
Not a waiver scheme. Collection action will keep continuing.
Right.
If collection happens, it straight away hits the bottom line. That means profit.
Oh.
The entire 10 lakh becomes their profit because they have already provisioned it. No?
Right.
Then it's going to profit.
So I have a very silly question here.
Okay.
I'm going a bit off topic.
Right.
But was Vijay Mallya's loans written off? Or, I don't know. Was it written off?
See, that's it's obviously it gets written off. They have to write it off.
And has he paid back? Because they keep claiming in media, or I don't know if he's planting these stories that he's paid back. I don't know what he's paid back.
So he has paid back, but not the entire amount.
Oh.
But I think he has covered the entire principal.
Okay, he's not paid back the interest.
Interest part or the penalty part.
Okay.
See what happens. Let's assume I've taken 10 lakh rupees at an interest rate of 12% per annum.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if I'm paying on time, the principal balance is also reducing. The interest balance is also. There are two components, no? Principal and interest.
Correct.
Now, when I pay EMIs, they have two components in that EMI also.
Correct.
Certain portion is going to hit the principal. Certain portion is going to hit the interest.
Okay.
If I'm not paying EMIs, then 1 year the principal itself will become 11.2 lakhs. 12% on 10 lakh rupees is 1.2 lakh rupees. Now the principal itself has become 11.2.
Correct.
Second year interest is getting added up on 11.2 lakhs.
It's compounding then.
It's compounding. Right. You get my point, no?
So in Mallya's case,
it compounded.
Oh.
So his principal was on the lower side, but because he failed to make payments, it's
principal has
started,
skyrocketed.
exponentially compounding.
So again, guys, this is just a general question.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's-
sure
it's-
if Nikhil
yeah,
has
yeah,
more time,
absolutely.
he'll give the exact facts.
Yes.
But in his case, the
Yeah, yeah.
write-off amount, the principal initially which he's taken, he's paid back is what you're
Is
saying.
paid back.
Oh,
He settled his
interesting.
account. They happen to liquidate most of his assets. No,
Okay.
via liquidation he has paid back.
Okay.
So he had his shares pledged.
Okay.
He had his properties mortgaged.
Okay.
So banks happen to liquidate most of his assets, and they happen to recover his principal. What he hasn't managed to pay is the interest component, which generally happens in a corporate loan.
Oh.
Yeah, it generally happens.
So let's.
I don't want to take any names,
Huh.
but you can see any number of examples wherein the write-off is they have happened to written off even the principal also. Forget about interest on penalty. They happen to write off the principal balance also.
So we will look at this in a future video. So
Absolutely.
do subscribe for that. We will be breaking some big bubbles. But coming back to write-off.
Right.
So first thing is, as a borrower, it is a bank's compliance.
Bank's compliance.
It is nothing for you to get happy about.
Exactly. It is nothing for a consumer or a borrower to be happy about.
In fact, we'll find out
Yeah.
later in the video why it's something really bad.
Yeah,
Is what you were saying.
I'm once again underlining the fact that this is not a loan waive off.
Correct.
Your loan is not getting waived off.
Okay.
Collection action will still continue. People will still call you. People will still come to your place and follow up for
Recovery.
a recovery or a payment. I mean the loan outstanding.
So let's continue.
Yes.
So I'm a borrower now.
Yes.
Whatever reason I've gone through a financial crisis.
Right.
My loan has first went into NPA.
Yes.
It's now been written off.
Right.
What happens to me, to my CIBIL score now?
Exactly. So once your loan is written off, the same gets reported to your CIBIL.
Correct.
Your CIBIL report.
Right.
Or the credit bureau, I can say. CIBIL is one of the credit bureaus. No?
Right. So any one of the credit.
Any one
bureaus.
of the credit bureaus.
Right.
So same gets reported to credit bureau,
Sure.
stating that this particular account is written off.
Okay.
The same gets marked there. You
Okay.
can, literally see on the. So this title is called Credit Facility Status.
Okay.
If you there are three sections in a credit report.
Okay.
Okay, one is your personal information, the other one is account information, the third one is inquiry. Under account information, they display all your loan accounts.
Okay.
In one of your accounts, there is a title called Credit Facility Status. What is the status of this particular account? That's what they are trying to tell.
Okay.
So there they mark it as written off.
Okay.
Yeah. So once it's written off, once a particular account is written off in a credit report, nowhere, literally nowhere, you'll get a fresh loan. Nowhere, literally nowhere. And none of the banks or apps or any of the, credit institutions will lend a loan.
So does
So you're
this
literally
happen?
barred from fresh loans or financial assistance or your financial prospect is, doomed.
My God. Okay. No credit card, no
Nothing.
If you have an ongoing credit card, your limit will go, or they will cancel the credit card.
That wouldn't happen. I don't say that the credit limit will get affected.
Huh.
So, but whatever running loans are there, that will anyway go on because they have already given you.
Correct.
They have to recover it back.
Right.
So, but fresh loans will not happen.
Okay.
No fresh loans will get sanctioned. It's a system rejection.
So basically, you're kicked out of the institutional credit system only.
Absolutely. Literally. Nowhere you'll get a credit facility.